Hello and welcome. Today we're going to look at another little scenario, this time taking place at the Strait of Hormuz, the entrance of the Persian Gulf. And it's inspired by another Warzone article, not super fresh anymore, so it was in August, but yeah, still interesting, I think. And it basically reports what happened when the amphibious ready group around the USS Bataan entered the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz. Because the Iranians apparently weren't super happy about it. Wonder why. A little bit of background. I mean, like this is just like super in a nutshell. But I mean, there's a lot of oil production going on over here and gas production over here. And whenever you want to ship that out to the wider world, then you have to go through the Strait of Hormuz. And recently, there have been a lot of incidents where Iran just confiscates tankers that are going through the strait, claiming that they went into their territorial waters. Okay, so Iran dropped a whole lot of like videos and images of the transit of that group, and so you can see some of it here. Essentially, they had their own ships in the area, and they had drones, of course, which is one of Iran's big thing that they really like to do. And they basically observed the vessels, and that also these are their small patrol boats. And let me see. Yeah, so they got some nice side views and also some nice top views of them. Let's see if we can find it. And this also gives us a nice, this is the Thomas Hudson. This gives us a nice a nice idea what's actually on one of these carriers. Let's see, I think they had a nice shot somewhere. Yes, there it is. So, I mean, what is an amphibious ready group? It's basically it usually, or basically almost always has a landing helicopter assault ship or a landing helicopter dock, LHD, and there are a couple in service. For example, the USS America is one, and the USS Bataan is another one. And they look like little aircraft carriers, but they are more like you could probably like compare them to the Japanese helicopter destroyers in like a little bit. They're kind of small, but I mean small is relative. They have 41,000 tons fully loaded, so it's quite a lot of displacement. And but they usually don't carry a lot of aircraft. They tend to carry a lot of Ospreys because they're meant as like a launching point for like assaults, like with Marines essentially, and the Ospreys is what they would transport them on. And then they have like a complement of helicopters, notably like the UH-1 with missiles, and then also AH-1 attack helicopters, and they usually have a couple of vertical takeoff and landing jets. And in the future, this is going to be the F-35B, of course, but for now, it's still basically just Harriers. And they tend to carry 6 Harriers, apparently. They can carry up to 20, but usually it's like about 6. And if you look at the picture, you can clearly see the Ospreys in their like storage configuration. You see a lot of helicopters, and you can see at least, I mean, there's 5 Harriers there, and it will probably have another one in its hangar. So yeah, that's what I think can realistically be expected as aircraft complement from such a surface group. And when it comes to other vessels in the group, they should usually include an amphibious landing dock or dock landing ship. And in this case, this was, I think, the Carter Hall or something, if I remember correctly. Yes, it was the Carter Hall, which is a Harper's Ferry amphibious. What is it? Dock landing ship. Whatever. Okay, and then they were also accompanied by the USS Thomas Hudner, which is an Arleigh Burke. And this is basically this is probably just there for air defense mostly. Yeah, and I mean the story as it continues claims that the Iranians, so the U.S. was flying some helicopters as you would do while they transited the strait, and then the Iranians said that they threatened to shoot them down, and then of course the U.S. immediately caved, and the helicopters were forced to land. Don't know how believable that is, but yeah. And just as a little note, as of September 11th, according to the fleet tracker, the Bataan amphibious ready group is still in the Persian Gulf. All right. So let's take a look at our little Bataan group in the game. So we have the LHD-5 Bataan, which is a Wasp class. Oh no, it's like an Essex class LHD, and it has a whole bunch of Ospreys on it, 12 in total. These are not very useful for the purpose of this scenario, so it doesn't really have any weapons or reconnaissance loadouts. Then we have the Super Stallions. They will serve as a little bit of a reconnaissance helicopter screen, and we'll have one of them on station all the time. And this is basically what the Iranians will see once the group tries to transit the strait. And yes, then we have our AH-1s, which are armed with Hellfires and rockets. We have our UH-1s, which are also armed with rocket pods. These are like literally little Hueys, right? So they're pretty old, and they're not big fighters, let's put it like this. But yeah, we'll see. And then of course we have the Harriers. So the initial loadout I was going to use is just arming them with laser-guided bombs, because they will have to defend against ships. But I think we're actually going to take 2 of them and refit them to AIM-120Cs. So it's like an older AMRAAM version. It's kind of like editing it on the fly, but I think this makes sense. Okay, so this is what our ARG. Also, don't worry about the path it tries to take here. It will start going in this direction for a while, and then realize that maybe it cannot actually swim through the terrain, and then it will find a solution for that problem. Yeah, and so we'll see what happens if the Iranians actually attack the amphibious ready group while it transits the strait. And we shall see if they can actually destroy it. So let's give you a little tour of the assets that we have in this scenario. So Iranian side, I mean, this is the part of Iran that I have imported. I mean, a lot of these are just assets you can load over the import-export units that the game has, as set pieces. Of course, the ships and everything and the planes are from my side. And let's go to the ships first. So what is actually in the Iranian Navy? So they have a couple of first of all, they have a couple of corvettes. These are in the Caspian Sea, so they will not appear here. But the Bayandor class is in the Southern Fleet, and I think we have it over here. So these carry C-802 missiles, which are basically Chinese anti-ship missiles. They're very roughly comparable, I think, to a Harpoon, and they carry 4 of them each ship. Note that these corvettes do not have any real air defense. Then of course we have a couple of small ships. We have these I think they are Chinese in origin. They're basically like torpedo boats. But then they have these, and those are actually something I think the Iranians are pretty proud of. These little patrol crafts are like missile boats essentially, and they're just meant to go to the target as fast as possible, launch the missiles, turn around, and try to run away. Missiles, again, Chinese in origin. They sometimes you have them as C-704. Sometimes you have them as Nasser 1. The C-704 is the base variant, which is Chinese like Chinese made, and the Nasser 1 is essentially the Iranian copy of it. And they don't have a crazy range, like they're like 20 nautical miles, so we have to get kind of close with these. And then we have another set of patrol boats, or like missile boats over here, and they have a more recent or more modern anti-ship missile, also copied Chinese one with much higher range. So yeah, these will launch from here and go to this target area and attack whatever they find. And would make sense for them to be in this area, maybe because this is like this whole place is Bandar-e-Abbas or something, and it's one of the main naval bases of the Iranian Navy. And then, of course, we have our little frigate squadron, or little it's not that little. It's like 5 ships. And it contains most of Iranian's frigates. So we have the Alvand frigates, that is, where is it? The Alvand over here, and the Alborz. And these are the only 2 ships in that class that are still operational, and both of them are here, and they carry C-802 anti-ship missiles for each ship. And then we have the more modern Moudge class. And I think they might have 1 or 2 more of these, but yeah, I don't think each and every one of them would be available at any given time. So I've included 3: the Dena, the Sahand, and the Jamaran. And they all carry C-802 anti-ship missiles, or variants of them. And notably, these also have some kind of air defense. So you can see here we have the Fajr, which is like an SM-1 copy, essentially. And we have the Sayyad II, I think. Do they have a picture of them? No, they don't. But these, I guess you can see the range is not impressive. I don't know how well known, like if it's actually like public knowledge how good they are, but this does not paint a really good picture of them. But let me see. Sayyad missile, Sayyad 2. Look, I want to see that. This is the Sayyad 2. So looks an awful lot like a standard missile, and it's basically a copy of it. So the Sayyad 1 is a copy of a Chinese missile, looks completely different, but the Sayyad 2 is basically a copy of the SM-1 or SM-2, and it looks exactly like an SM-2. So yeah. Note that they don't have very many of them, like 4 per ship. So this is like in the modern world, like they are like they have 16 anti-ship missiles. If we go over to the American side, no, not anti-ship missiles, anti-air, like air defense missiles. If we go to the American side, we see that our arsenal is we have 16 SM-6 missiles, 40 SM-2s. In this case, I've packed 64 ESSM, and then we have a whole lot of RAM because and these are all on the like the hubs, like the landing ships and the helicopter carrier. Essentially, they have RAM for self-defense, and the Arleigh Burke is very heavily spec'd into, or like very heavily armed for air defense. So we just have like a couple of Tomahawks left, and the rest is filled with ESSM, SM-2s, and yeah, a complement of SM-6. Because they probably don't have enough of these to fill up all the magazines. Also, they're like absurdly expensive. Okay. So what else could the Iranians bring to the party? Of course, their air force. And the problem is there's probably not, like the informations about this are probably a little bit sketchy, but there's a whole bunch of different systems from different origins that they have, and Wikipedia also gives us like a rough idea where everything is. So not to like spend too much time here, we can just see what the Iranians will have for the attack. We have over here, that is Shiraz, 8 fencers. They are armed with C-801K anti-ship missiles, again Chinese missiles, about 25 nautical miles range. They have the Orion patrol crafts. These will be important for figuring out or getting a fix on the surface group. Then we have Zahedan with Phantoms. You probably have seen this one before. The Iranians have quite a few of them, I think. Like, where is it? There, 63. No clue how many of them can actually fly and how many are stripped for parts. And then again, fencers with 801K, and yes, the Phantoms will be carrying the indigenous thing Nasser 1, which is basically a C-704. Again, about 20 nautical miles. There it is, 20 nautical miles range. Okay, so we'll have to get pretty close, but they are standoff weapons. Okay, and then we also have Tigers over here. These don't really, like, I think they're meant as fighters, but I really need stuff to bomb the surface group, so I just gave them some low drag bombs. And then we go to Chabahar, which is again Phantoms, same configuration, a couple of Mirages. I think they have like just like a very low number of them, 12, and they didn't even buy them. They like got like they got them because they basically like looted them in a way, and yeah, they have 12 of them. And again, no good options for standoff, so I just gave them rocket pods, and they will be in our second attack wave. Okay, one little thing when it comes to like anti-air, there's a squadron of F7s over here. They will be our air patrol, and we'll have 2 of them on station, or like we'll have 2 of them in station once they have to leave. Next group will launch, and then once they're out, they're out. One little thing over here, we actually have 2 F-14 Tomcats. I don't know how many the Iranians are supposed to still have of them. Where are they? F-14, 41. Yeah. So, but they haven't had any like maintenance or any like spare parts for them for decades. So I have no like I think it's unclear if they can even fly a single one of them. But we just assume that they have somehow cobbled together the parts to get 2 of them in the air, and they're also they still have some working Phoenix missiles, which is of course the American, like the very old long-range anti-air missile with like 72 nautical miles range. And this thing is weird. Like, I mean, it's not exactly weird, but it's like it's basically a ballistic missile. It shoots like very high up and then drops out of the sky, and if the target just changes direction slightly, you've no chance of hitting it. But I think they were pretty like cool concept for the time. Okay, so let's go to the slides really quick. Of course, we have the same rules as always, 12-hour time limits. This time it's not 10 targets, the goal is to sink the amphibious ready group. Yeah, and we're going to lose some manned aircraft, which is fine, I guess. Adding up the missiles a little bit, these are the interceptors that we have, and it adds up to like 220 interceptors in total, which is, I mean, considering that it's just 3 ships and only one of them is an Arleigh Burke destroyer, which is actually like meant to be an air defense asset, kind of. This is already pretty impressive. Yeah, but we'll see if it's enough, because it's just barely double the amount of standoff missiles that we'll be faced with. And on top of the standoff missiles, we also have to like engage the air patrols. And Also, there's going to be a wave of dumb bombs and rocket pod carriers incoming, and we also have to defend against these. Yeah, and the score will be determined by how many ships we can sink, essentially, or damage. Yeah, so we shall see how that goes. Okay, I think we have everything ready, set, go. Okay, so let's talk about the plan on the Iranian side a little bit. So, of course, our goal is to sink the American surface group, or do as much damage as possible. For that, we have at first we have our ship-based anti-ship missiles, which are on the little boats and the corvettes and the frigates. Also, these can probably put on their radars. And yeah, the frigate squad will remain silent. So basically, we have to figure out where is the American group, and then we will just launch all our standoff missiles at it, and after that we just try to get in range to hit it with cannon fire, essentially, if that works. We'll see. Then, of course, we have the Iranian Air Force, and for them, it will be two waves. We have the standoff weapons, like the C-704s and like indigenous variants of them, and the C-802s, and they will form the first wave of attack. And so they will just fly in, they'll drop their missiles, and that will drain the US air defense missiles. And we hope that we can run them out of missiles or get something through to do some damage. The second wave will consist of our non-standoff weapons like the Mirages and the F5s, and these of course have to get very close. So if the American ships still have ammo at that point, they have no chance of succeeding. Maybe just a little. Just a few words about drones. I think we will have some Moudge 4Bs on station, just as recon assets, and then we also have these ARG II suicide drones. For me, it's not entirely clear how much of a factor drones would be from the attack side, because we know the Shahed 136, of course, and it's supposed to have an anti-ship capability, but I don't really understand how that's supposed to work, because it's essentially just a cruise missile. It flies by GPS and inertial guidance. You can tell it, you can point it at them at some place on the map and tell it to go run into it, but it doesn't have any sensors or anything, right? So how is it supposed to hit a moving ship? I don't really get it. These, on the other hand, the ARG, I think they have IR sensors or something, so I could kind of believe that they can hit a ship. So we have one battery here, just to showcase them, but they're not going to be a big factor in this scenario. Okay, let's see, maybe we can just speed it up a little bit. Okay, there's our Orion patrol craft coming in, and oh, look at this. We have spotted one of the enemy helicopters. So this is, if you remember the story, I mean, we're not really having them in viewing distance, but we can see them through radar. I don't really want to launch any missiles at it quite yet, because we have no idea where the ships are, but they're probably somewhere close, right? Because if you can see the helicopters. Also, I mean, you might ask why not put it way further away, like the frigates, so they don't risk getting attacked by the Americans. I mean, this is their range, so it's just barely it is on the edge of the range where it can hit the entire or it can cover the entire Strait of Hormuz with its anti-ship missiles. Also, what the Iranians maybe not know in this position. Like the Americans don't even have any harpoons on any of the ships that are on the map right now. They do, of course, have the Harriers with their laser-guided bombs, and they will do some work. We will see in a minute, but for now we just have to wait and see. If we're looking at it from the American side, I can see there's a little bit of it actually found a course through the strait, and we can see a whole bunch of contacts over here, and that is actually our helicopter is picking them up with radar. There we go. Radar warning receiver. So they're essentially picking up the signals from the enemy ships. Of course, they're not really flagged as enemies yet. And we can see the drone getting on station. When it comes to the plan for the Americans, it's basically just survive. We have a couple of Tomahawks that we will use to blow up the air defense systems here. As long as they have like an, I mean, this is an S-200, right? So this has quite a, like we're well within range. So this one has to go before we launch any aircraft at any like altitudes. Before this one is destroyed, we can still use our helicopters, but they kind of have to hug the ground or the surf, so to say. And see, this is our patrol craft. And yeah, so maybe just a quick note when it comes to WRA. Come on. There we are. So all the missiles on board are have their range, the engagement range is massively reduced, just to make sure that it doesn't go off and just shoot at things that where it has a very low chance of hitting them. Especially when you consider that the Iranians don't really have anything with really high range, so this is actually fine. We can let them get close enough for to make a hit more likely. And also, I think some of the missiles had they wanted to shoot 2 at each target, and I basically told them to no, just shoot 1, because yeah, we have to be very conservative with our missiles if we want to survive this little cruise. Let's switch back over to the Iranian side. I still haven't found any ships. Let's see. Speed it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we have detected a ship. We don't know what it is yet, but this is enough for us to launch our first wave, because they will take a while to get there. We still need a good fix on the position, like on all 3 ships, before we will start the engagement. Let's see. There come our, as you can see here, our planes are taking off. We've detected a second ship over here. Just about getting in range. Once we get those with the surface radar, they will be able to see all 3 ships. Also, we should maybe, let's see, I think this one is still not really allowed to go over here. We'll just extend its prosecution area a little bit, and it will go and start to investigate the helicopter over here. Getting closer, and okay, we have 2 ships on the radar now. One is still eluding us. Come on. Yeah, getting better, getting better. Almost have all of them. Still, there we are. We have all 4 of them. So I mean, we still don't really know which one it is, but this one has like air traffic control, radar, and stuff. So this is going to be our helicopter carrier. Then this is actually the Arleigh Burke on the right side to like be in the way of any like attack. And then we have the landing dock over here. Okay, so let's play out the scenario as the Iranians would like to have it. So they attack the helicopter. Once we flag it as hostile, we'll immediately have launches from the S-200, which is very easily in range. And let's see, let's go to the US. And they already spotted the missiles. Okay, so now the US, like the Americans, know that something is up. So what we will do is we will allow them to defend themselves. There we go. And we will start our helis. Anti-ship helis active. Let's go. Iranian side. Let's see if we can hit with the 2 missiles. And both of them miss. Okay. Well, too bad. Let's start some missiles, shall we? We want to go for the skunks. Okay, that was the frigates. Go to the corvettes. You do the same. Also, we'll go over here to the Mirage II. See if they can fire. Yes, they can. 2 for each ship. And that should do just fine. And there we go. Yeah, sorry, my PC will probably be in a little bit of trouble for a while. Okay, from the American point of view, what do you do if you are a destroyer and you have people who shoot at you? You launch the Tomahawk missiles, of course, and we shall do that against these radar stations and these radar stations. And then we have this SAM system, we'll get 3, this one gets 3. This is essentially, we have to take those out before we can launch our fighters, or rather like our jump jets. And yes, these radars are also annoying. And okay, so for us on the American side, so looks a little bit annoying, but we haven't really seen any of the frigates yet. Also, we haven't even seen any of the missiles from them yet. So for now, we don't even know that they exist. So let's play it out a little bit from the US side. Our helicopters should... This is actually a Phoenix missile. He's trying to attack the helicopter. And maybe we should just greet them with maybe some SM6? That sounds adequate. Yeah, so it's going to get pretty busy. Like there's a lot of missiles in the air. This is our first, like these are the anti-ship missiles from the corvettes, and we have ESSM attacking them now. Also, just as a side note, I disallowed the destroyer from using SM6 missiles against other missiles. They are reserved for aircraft, so they're not wasted. So these are getting pretty close, and the F-14 still pretty good at evading. Oh, there's one getting pretty close. Ah, that was the Phoenix. Right. Where's our helos? There they are. Okay. Ah, they take a while, so they fly really, really low. Damn, we're not having any luck with these F-14s. Oh, look at this. A whole bunch of missiles from the west. Okay, and actually, as you can see here, how can we detect them? Yes, our helicopter is able to pick up emissions from these frigates. So they are somewhere here. Also, we know that they have just shot missiles at us that they can only fire from... Yeah, they might even be as far as over here. Okay, so what do we do about this? Let's take a look. Let's take our Harrier mission and set it to active. And see. Okay, so this is the area that it covers, and we'll just drag it all the way over here. And yeah, the Harriers will have to go find their targets. For now, I mean, we still have ESSM, as you can see here. They should have no trouble intercepting these, but we're probably going to run low on. Yeah, it's like 22, just 22 of them left, and there come the RAM already. So we have quite a bit more RAM than we have ESSM, and I mean, for subsonic targets, RAM actually works kind of fine, but yeah, it's not the same performance as ESSM, of course. Okay, let's see. Our helicopters are starting to engage these little Mirage patrol boats, and yeah, that will go pretty much as well as you can expect, because they don't have any air defense. Smack. Come on, kill them. Let's see if we can put the... And there comes our first... we still have SM-6 missiles, so they're actually going to engage the planes before they can drop their anti-ship missiles. Sorry for the stuttering, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now, and apparently my PC is a little bit too flimsy for it. And smack, we got one. Very good. More anti-ship missiles coming in. We should, like, these are pretty dangerous because they have torpedoes, but they'll never get in range. Helicopters will take care of them. Question is, can our helicopters take care of the corvettes over here, or like, do they have enough missiles for that? And as you can see here, we can now perfectly see all, like, most of the frigates, and of course they got detected by our little Harriers here. Which are flying pretty high, which is okay because I think we actually hit the SM2. It's not like at least it got wiped from the map, so it's considered destroyed from the American side. I mean, we can just go over and like cheat a little bit and see from the okay. So as you can see here, this one is also incapacitated, and the other battery is completely wiped off the map. From the American side, we should probably give it just a little bit more. Yeah, like a tomahawk more. It's not going to hurt. Okay, so let's see. These actually have anti-air missiles. And just like try to keep everything on the screen. Like, the first planes are shooting their anti-ship missiles. Maybe while we still have the ability to do so, we should probably... Okay, so as you can see here, this is the group coming from Zahadan or something. Zahadan. And they are still 80 nautical miles out. So what we could do is we could try to grab one of those groups and mess it up a little bit. So we will do an intercept mission. And we will go for these targets. We will say focus on the strike targets. And that will be for the two Harriers here. And you can actually join the helos. Let's go. Okay. Back to the main event. The attack on the Iranian surface group. It's like two things going on at the same time. It's not too busy, but yeah, there's more planes coming in from here. That is... And they probably just... Wait, are these F7s? What are they doing here? Okay, well, maybe they're doing their own thing. Okay, let's slow it down a little bit. Are they not? Wait a second, I have to check really quick if... okay, they're not marked as hostile, so... at this point, there's very little ambiguity here, and also maybe put on your radar, and maybe also... Yes, they're free to fire at whatever they want. Okay, nothing happened here, just go on. Let's go to the American point of view. Okay, we're already launching bombs. We're not getting engaged. Why are we not getting engaged? Maybe we'll have to help them a little bit. Ah, oh god. Yeah, it looks like they... yeah, they saved these two radar stations over here. So they already spent their anti-air missiles for attacking the cruise missiles. Oh well, wait, that's... okay, that's a little bit of a bummer, but... yeah, that's probably going to totally doom them. So as you can see here, they're painting their targets. Each of them, like, they should go for one bomb per ship. Yeah, he's like flying right over them. Yeah, bye-bye. And bye. And... okay, 2 survivors. That bomb. And brace for impact. Okay, they will like... let's see what's going on over here. You guys attack there. I mean, we could actually like... these are still pretty close. We can select them and basically have them be part of the targets, and then just go for these. Okay, should be fine. Like, get your... like, they're supposed to not attack anything except for their strike targets, but they tend to sometimes just do whatever they want, which is fine, I guess. Also, since the missiles are already flying, we should probably go and activate the second wave, just because they have to. They will take some time to get over here. Okay. Let's continue. And smack, another one is dead. And... can you get the last one? Meanwhile, our helicopters are shooting the hell out of these little patrol boats. And they do that with basically just rockets. And hellfires. From our AH-1. Do we still have some? Yeah, we still have these. So these should really focus on this group, because the corvettes, we cannot just leave them to do what they want. Can you fire your AMRAAMs, maybe? Yeah, they know probably best what to do. They're like pretty high up though, maybe go at like higher altitude? Ah, there we go. First AMRAAMs out. Let's speed it up a little bit. So can we, yeah, they're going defensive and yeah. But again, it messes up the tech. And yeah, that's way too long. And that's all the AMRAAMs gone. Kind of a shame. Okay. So now our groups over here are actually trying to return to base, but we will not allow them to do that. Instead, we're going to unassign them and so maybe go to 36,000 feet so you don't burn as much fuel. So let's speed it up a little bit. These are the SM2s coming out. So these are our helicopters doing work. And those are the Harriers attacking with Hellfires. So you can maybe fly around a little bit like this. And now they're attacking with cannons. Pretty busy. Okay, this is another really big wave. And there come the Sea Sparrows. What do we still have? We have some Ram left. We have some Sea Sparrows left. Okay, that's not a lot of missiles. Let's see. And oh, that one's getting kind of close. And okay, we got it. So as you can see here, they're still all perfectly fine. More missiles coming in though. How many interceptors we have left? Oh, a couple. Okay. And okay, as you can see here, we can actually already detect the second wave. Our helicopters got beaten up a little bit by the F7s. F7's basically just like I mean, it is essentially a MiG-21. Sorry, it didn't. Yeah, so it's a MiG-21, but it's like the Chinese version of them. So just to not be too confusing, but I mean this whole thing is pretty confusing. So oh, there's a missile that's coming very close. It's getting engaged by. Oh, and it malfunctioned apparently. More missiles coming in. Flap, flap, and they're gone. Okay. 21 Rams left. Where are our Harriers over there? So they still have some. They still have some cannon ammo left. We will unassign them and send them over here, and you can go max altitude. You guys go over here, you guys go over here, and let's see if we can mess up this group over here. Let's do an intercept mission. Let's go here, here, and here. So our helicopters have, oh yeah, they look really bad. They still have rockets? Yes, they do still have rockets. Maybe it should be a good idea to... They also still have a lot of... fuel, so let's just go and send them in this direction over here. Problem is they're getting like attacked by these MiG-21s. Oops, and they caught one of our helicopters. That's unfortunate. Okay. Drop all targets and go over there, my friend. Come on. Just hope that they won't. Problem is, you should not gain altitude. That's not a good idea. Okay, time to attack these planes over here. Okay, just to give you an idea what these are, because right now, oh, they can actually identify them. So they're like, they can identify them as Mirage. And these are the ones with the rocket pods. And yeah, let's go and mess them up. Oops, our helicopter just got hit. What about this one? This one's empty. Don't really have any more helicopters. Sidewinder's coming out. And no luck with the Sidewinders. Come on. Another Sidewinder coming out. This one looks good, and missed again. Okay. So it's gonna come down to shooting at stuff with cannons. And they got one. Yay. Problem is, like, the Mirages actually have anti-air missiles. And they can shoot back. Sometimes they also do that. And our last helicopter just got smacked by the MiG-21s. Do we still have missiles here? Yeah, we still have a couple of missiles. Yeah, maybe you should look. Run away. Yeah, that's Ram making short work of the MiG-21s. Bang! Well, they're dead. That also cost us more Ram, though. So our Harriers are really trying to get that one. Yep, and they hit it. Looks like it tries to run away. Let's check really quick how much damage. Yeah, not a lot. Like it wasn't a good hit. And there come the Mirages. Bang. Oh, nice one. Okay, so now we're like running seriously low on ways to defend ourselves. And we have 15 missiles left, and there's a whole group of bombers incoming. Oops. That's our Harrier, like, really messing up that approach. Slow it down a little bit. So these are the Tigers with dump bombs, and these are Mirages. Oh, it's also Tigers, so it's a bombing run on the group, essentially. Let's see. Yep, that was a hit, and another hit. Let's see. Oh, they got hit badly. Yeah, they are probably not going to return. And that one got smacked. Next attempt. Hit, and we have any missiles left? No, we don't. Uh-oh. Okay, now we lost. We literally have no way of defending ourselves anymore. We're like out of missiles. So he's coming in at 2,000 feet. Anti-air cannon. Oh, and he scored a hit. Bombs out. And we took a hit on the Thomas Hudson. Okay. So is it still, like, most importantly, is it still, yeah, it's still going at, is that full speed? Yeah, it's going at cruise speed. We got some hits on the, one of the radars is damaged. Okay. But also the engines are also damaged, so, and they have fire, so they have to put out the fire before it gets any worse. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, I think that is, the planes are done. So we will just recall all of them. Strikes are over, our planes are returning to base, and now the question is, oh, we still have one operational frigate over here. These corvettes, are they actually sinking? Oh, they don't look good. Like, they will almost certainly sink. They're not dead yet, but on fire and flooding, and yeah. Oh, one of them just started sinking. Okay. So these are neutralized. This one is still fine though. It still has a missile on board. Why does it still have a missile on board? Well, things that sometimes happen. Yeah. Okay, so this is like weird. Didn't expect that, but yeah, since we already have the missile, we might as well use it. Let's see if we can hit something. The ships still have phalanx and stuff, so there's still a good chance that they can actually stop it. And there it comes. And it got destroyed. Okay, well, bummer. So as long as the Hudson is not incapacitated, we still have a good chance of defeating that frigate and not getting destroyed by it. So we'll probably have to just fast forward quite a bit and get to a point where we can actually have like a naval standoff. So I'll just go and do that. And there we go. Yeah, let's give it 100, it's fine. Can you attack yet? No, we're not in range. Oh, also a gun just got taken out, but yeah, so the Burke can fire before the Iranian ship can, so yeah, let's see. You can actually see the expected range here, because the US doesn't know that it's destroyed. It's 10 nautical miles, so now we would be in gun range. Problem is the Burke is still on fire. Still taking damage. Yeah, that's it. We're incapacitated. So that's the end of that frigate. So we switch over to the US. The Burke is still not under control when it comes to... We just have to forward a little bit and see how it ends. Okay, there it is. So fire's out. Final tally. The torpedo launcher is destroyed. Part of the phalanx radar is destroyed. Sea light and yeah, air facilities. We didn't have any helicopters, and yeah, the engines are damaged. Can it still move? Yes, it can. So we will be able to get out of the situation. Looks good. So just to give you an idea of the final tally, American side, we actually lost two Harriers, so they were probably destroyed during the air combat. And we also lost two of the Cobras. As you saw over here, they got destroyed by MiG-21s. And then if we go to the Iranian side, we lost all 5 frigates, all 2 corvettes, and both of the Tomcats are dead. 9 of the Phantoms, 3 of the Tigers, 21 MiG-21s, and where's the Mirages? 4 of them didn't survive. So that's 25 aircraft, if I counted correctly. Okay, so the final tally actually doesn't look too bad from the US point of view. So we did get hit on the Arleigh Burke, which was basically, it was it was going to take the hits if anything got through. And but yeah, it was kind of like it had like a pretty bad fire and took away to put out, and the damage, the engines are damaged, but it was still moving when the fire was out. So yeah, so that was probably like 1 point to the Iranians, but the other 2 ships, most importantly, like the carrier, did not get hit at all. And this is probably like a little bit of a chaotic scenario, because there was just so much stuff going on at the same time, and also some things didn't work the way they were supposed to. But then again, in a situation like this, there would be chaos and stuff would not work the way it's supposed to. Even then, if you look at the amount of stuff that was thrown at the ARG, at the amphibious ready group, with that destroyer, it is kind of like, it is still like impressive that just a single destroyer can literally single-handedly, there was some help with like RAM on the other 2 ships, so it was not the destroyer alone, but this is a fairly small fleet. It's a far cry from a real carrier group, right? And it still managed to fend off all of this stuff. And we have to like keep in mind that if you look at the losses for this little excursion, the Iranians basically wasted most of their navy and a huge part of their air force. So yeah, this is not worth it. Yeah. So then again, is this really realistic? What we haven't seen here is a lot of drones, and I'm pretty sure in reality it would be less planes, more drones, but yeah, not really an expert in this. And yeah, maybe at some point we'll try again with more drone participation, but I doubt that it would massively change the outcome. Okay. I hope this was interesting, and certainly was fun for me to build, and yeah, see you next time.